Christopher Leonard, The Meat Racket, The Secret Takeover of America's Food Business. Enter the world of Tyson Foods, a company that revolutionized the American meat industry through vertical integration, controlling various aspects of the meat supply chain. In this summary of The Meat Racket, The Secret Takeover of America's Food Business by Christopher Leonard, learn how Tyson Foods emerged as the largest meat company globally, implementing its model of vertical integration in chicken, beef, and pork markets. Discover how small family farms were edged out, farmers found themselves under Tyson's control, and the relentless expansion of this industry giant. Brace yourself as we unravel the intriguing tale of Tyson Foods and their mastery over America's food business.
Tyson Foods' grand idea. Tyson Foods' success lies in its process of vertical integration. By controlling all the independent businesses that work with it, including farmers, feed producers, slaughterhouses, and distributors, Tyson has mitigated competition and unified strategy. With this strategy, Tyson has been able to force suppliers to comply with its practices, such as using the drug Zilmax to make cattle grow faster, resulting in significant profits for Tyson. While this process may not be favorable to its suppliers, it has been undeniably successful for Tyson Foods. The rise of Tyson Foods. Until the Great Depression, small family farms dominated American farming. However, when the Depression hit, farmers found themselves facing bankruptcy with no savior in sight. Tyson Foods saw an opportunity to enter the market by persuading farmers to work for them instead of buying out their farms. With the promise of a steady paycheck and loans for equipment, many farmers agreed to come under Tyson's control. Tyson also implemented vertical integration by purchasing food mills, chicken hatcheries, and slaughterhouses. This helped solve the problem of chicken's unreliability as a meat by ensuring mass retention and preventing spoilage. As a result, chicken became a popular meat choice, and Tyson's productivity increased. Competitors were driven out, and the farmers were left indebted to the company. Tyson's control of the market was only just beginning. Tyson's expansion strategy. After implementing vertical integration, Tyson's new official policy was to expand or expire. To grow the market for chicken, Tyson spent 14 years convincing McDonald's to include chicken on its menu with the creation of the cheap and easy-to-eat chicken nugget. They also standardized their production processes and utilized every possible part of the chicken to keep costs low. With constant expansion efforts, Tyson was able to supply orders from companies like McDonald's and Walmart, ultimately increasing the average American's chicken consumption from 39 pounds to 70 pounds per year by 1995. Tyson's dominance through non-ownership. This summary delves into why Tyson Foods chooses to control farmers through contractual agreements rather than purchasing their farms, despite their dominance in the chicken market. The author highlights that non-ownership mitigates risks and costs for Tyson. The article also sheds light on the extent of control Tyson exerts over the farmers, from the feed they use to the price they obtain for their products. Despite their ownership of farms, farmers have little control over how they manage them, and the contracts leave them powerless. Tyson Foods Tournament System. Tyson Foods employs a tournament system where the company pits its farmers against each other to push down prices paid for chicken. The most efficient farms are rewarded with slightly higher prices for their chickens. However, the system isn't fair as it compares farms against each other without taking into account key factors like modernization, size, or available capital. The data review is secretive, making it difficult for farmers to plan for the future, budget for the following year, and unionize or collaborate with other farmers. As a result, Tyson is the real winner of this tournament, and farmers compete in a race to the bottom. Chickenization, from poultry to pork. Tyson Foods' chicken production methods, known as chickenization, inspired other meat industries to adopt industrialization and vertical integration. In the early 1990s, Tyson attempted to implement these methods in hog farming but faced obstacles such as governmental regulation. The Freedom to Farm Act of 1994 removed barriers to production, leading to massive overproduction in the meat business. Despite their efforts, Tyson was outcompeted by more established companies like Smithfield Foods. Tyson ultimately withdrew from the hog business but continued to expand in other markets. Tyson's beef industry dominance. Tyson's acquisition of Iowa Beef Processors, IBP, for $4.2 billion led to the company's expansion and eventual dominance in the meat industry. Despite being a much smaller company with profits below $300 million, Johnny Tyson took out loans of $1.4 billion to purchase IBP, a move that made Tyson the largest meat company in the world. While some questioned if this kind of market domination would violate government antitrust laws, regulators deemed that Tyson and IBP were in separate industries and there were still other large competitors in their field. Today, approximately 5% of the average American's grocery bill goes straight to Tyson. The plight of independent farmers in the meat industry. Tyson Foods and its competitors have consolidated control over the meat industry through vertical integration, leaving independent farmers with limited options. Major companies only work with farmers who have signed contracts with them, leaving independent farmers with hardly any market to sell their meat. In the beef industry, only 4 companies buy from independent farmers and can use their position to set prices. The price of meat continues to decline due to industrialization and modernization, making it difficult for independent farmers to turn a profit. While some farmers resist signing contracts with major companies, it is challenging for them to stay independent and profitable. Despite efforts made by governments and producers to distribute power evenly, results have been futile. Independent farmers in the meat industry continue to struggle in a market that favors vertically integrated giants. Antitrust laws and the meat industry. Antitrust laws protect producers and customers, but the U.S. government failed to prevent the takeover of the meat industry by vertical integration. Despite initial efforts against this practice, Clinton's administration and momentum in 16 states gradually died away, leaving Iowa as the only state to regulate the tournament system. However, changes in agriculture were on Barack Obama's agenda, offering hope for the future. The meat industry versus antitrust reform. When Tom Vilsack was appointed as Secretary of Agriculture in the Obama administration, he hoped to reform the vertically integrated meat industry by scrutinizing it. However, the powerful meat companies, including Tyson, fiercely resisted any government interference. The meat industry spent $5.94 million lobbying in 2010, influencing Congress, the Tea Party movement, and organizing their own grassroots movement against reform. Despite government and consumer advocates' efforts, the meat industry successfully prevented any significant reform, and companies like Tyson Foods continue to dominate the industry.
Tyson Foods redefined the meat industry with its innovative concept of vertical integration. Through controlling businesses and enforcing contractual relationships, you saw how Tyson Foods managed to mitigate competition and bring about market dominance. However, these gains were not without their drawbacks, as farmers' independence was encroached upon, culminating in a race to the bottom that negatively impacted the industry and struggled to maintain profitability. Despite initial attempts at regulating the meat industry's giants, the wealth and power of companies like Tyson Foods continue to dominate the sector, making a fair and level playing field a distant dream. This summary uncovers the darker side of America's food business that has been obscured by industry giants, and prompts readers to contemplate the future of an industry tangled in a web of power and control.